the Shreveport-Bossier Alumnae Panhellenic, and we are so glad you were here. We did not expect nearly this many people, and we love it. So welcome, and I'm really glad you're here. Can I get any of the alumni to please stand? If you are alumni of any sorority, will you please stand? Okay, you can sit. So these women come from all different places, of all different colleges, all different sororities, they're in all different professions, but they have one thing in common. They're all Panhellenic women. So how do you become a Panhellenic woman, and what does that look like? The answer? It's different for everyone. We are here tonight to tell you what we know and the resources available to help you navigate the process, but it's up to you to create your how and why. If you'll turn your attention to the screens, you will see a few more Panhellenic women tell their how and why. Enjoy.
There are a lot of reasons why I wanted to join a sorority, but when I think back to it, the main reason I think was that I was terrified to go to an out-of-state school. I was leaving my family for the first time. I was leaving my high school friends. We were all going our separate ways. And so going into college, I was terrified. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was scared. And so I wanted to find a group of people right off the bat. I wanted to find my people, and recruitment was a really awesome opportunity to do that. I was able to find that home away from home where I had people to hang out with on the weekends. I had people to study with. I had older girls in the sorority to help me figure out what classes I should be taking, what careers are out there, just all of these questions that I originally had. I finally had a space to ask them. I had a space where I felt valued, where I just could go and I felt safe. And so I think for me, the biggest reason why I joined was because I wanted that transition from high school to college to be a lot more smooth. And so it really provided a home away from home for me. And so that's why I wanted to join a sorority.
As a member of the Greek life community, being in a sorority for me was a very rewarding experience. Not only did I find friends, some of those lifelong friends, but also it allowed me to get to know the university a little bit better, also establish contacts outside of the university where I attended, which enabled me to go on to law school and eventually establish professional connections for the workplace. I have since joined an alumni group, and I was president of that alumni group. And it's been a great way to meet local members of my chapter and pour into our community.
When thinking about whether or not you want to join a sorority, just think about the values that you want to embody and find a group that matches those values. You can join a sorority for a lot of different reasons. You can join it to make friends, you can join it to meet new people, you can join it because you want to get involved on campus or you want to get involved in your community. And I think sororities can provide you with all of those things. A sorority is more than just a stereotype that you see in a movie or a TV show. Sorority life can be really beneficial for you, can be really beneficial throughout your college experience because these years can be super tough, as you will soon find out. And so it's important to have a support system of friends that will be there for you through everything and that are going through the same thing alongside of you. So being a part of a sorority has really helped me through college, and it's given me friends that I don't know how I could do life without.
There are many advantages to joining a sorority. It gives you those first-hand connections right whenever you come to college with girls that are in your same major, that are taking the same classes as you, that you can bring places with you and hang out with. Older girls that will help guide you, and then meeting girls that are in your same grade that are going through the exact same thing as you. For me, it was just really good because I got to meet those people so fast, and I didn't feel so alone at the beginning of college, because sometimes it's hard whenever you're away from your family just to feel lonely. But I always knew that my sorority sisters were there for me, and they felt like a second family to me.
So for me, I'm a chemical engineering major, and I really was able to break out of that very science, math brain that I got exposed to during all my classes whenever I was with my sorority sisters. And it definitely let me take a break from my academics, breathe a little bit, and have some fun, because engineering is hard and school is hard in general. And so joining a sorority for me was just a break from all of the stress of school, and it really was a stress reliever for me.
When going into college, I was looking for a support system and friends and a group of women that had an unbreakable bond. Something that I wanted to be a part of. That's what I was looking for, a group of strong women who were doing something not just on campus but also within the community. And so I found an organization that embodied all of my personal values and all of the goals that I want to achieve.
So I actually think that in reflection, it's very difficult to process your feelings and emotions and make logical decisions during recruitment, because there's just so much going on, right? You're going back-to-back parties, you're meeting different women. Just take a second during recruitment to really take deep breaths, really figure out the women that you're meeting. After all of the decorations, all of the chants, the songs, all of those aspects, when all of that's gone, you're going to be left with those women that are standing in the room. So truthfully, base your decision off of that, right? Don't base your decision off of the decorations or who has the best songs or whatever that is. Truthfully, just listen to your conversations with the women. And that is what I did when joining my sorority, and really just decided that I felt the most like myself and felt the most free, like I belonged when I was in the conversations with the women from my sorority.
I just suggest you experience recruitment. Really just let yourself experience it. Don't go in with a closed mind saying, I want this sorority, or I think I want this sorority. No, go in with a really open mind and really immerse yourself in the recruitment experience, because it is a really fun experience and you're never going to get that again. So make sure you're thinking through it, and don't let it pressure you. Don't stress about it. Just go with your heart and you'll find the right home.
It really is a gut feeling. Think about, can these people be my friends for college, possibly lifelong friends? Do I see myself being happy here? Because you being happy is really the most important part. The second part is, where do you see yourself succeeding? There is no wrong house. Every house is the best house on campus. Each house has women who are artists, who are great writers, who are kind, who are creative, and who are driven to succeed. So know that whatever choice you make, it's your personal choice, and you'll make the right one.
So my favorite part about being in a sorority, I feel like changes pretty frequently, but right now it's the fact that I get to meet so many amazing women across the country. So in my job, and when I was a collegian, we would have programs that enabled us to meet other leaders in chapters across the country. So I was meeting women in California and Maryland, and just really cool opportunities to meet women across the country. And then at my job right now, working for my sorority, I am able to work with collegians all across the country. I've worked with chapters in California, Pennsylvania, and I'm currently on a chapter in North Carolina. So really fun to get to meet them, even if it is virtually this year. And truthfully, I've never met someone in my sorority that I don't absolutely get along with. Like, it is just such an amazing feeling meeting women all across the country that share similar values as you, and you're just able to connect with because you have that like shared bond and shared interest. So it's really cool. I would say that's my favorite part right now.
I think my favorite part of being in a sorority is the sense of purpose and the sense of belonging that it gives me on campus and in life. It gives me a group of people that I can identify with and that I share the same values with. And we all have that common bond that we share. And no matter what, we're all respectful of one another, and we're going to have this bond for a lifetime. And it might be 20 years down the road and we might see each other in an airport somewhere, but we know that we share the same bond and we have the same values. And I think that's really, really important. The connections that you can make, not only with people within your community, but nationwide as far as your organization spreads.
My favorite part of being in a sorority was being pushed to be the best version of myself. You know, I was pushed to be the best version of myself academically, so I was provided with so many helpful resources to do so. I was pushed to do good in the community, so there were countless volunteer opportunities for us to join in. I was pushed to just be a kind, loving person, and so that was one of my favorite things. You know, I remember stepping in to college, being in the sorority, and looking up to the seniors so much, thinking, wow, these girls are cool, I want to be just like them, they're successful, all of these things. And then one day, in the blink of an eye, somehow you're a senior and you wonder where the time has been. But you get to be that role model. You get to be that supporter for the next generation of girls. And so it's this awesome, amazing cycle of just pushing people to be the best versions of themselves. And so I think that was probably overall my favorite part of it.
Okay, so I think I was on that video and I have not seen that video, so that was kind of surprising, but okay. Good evening, I'm Carolyn Murphy-Thompson. Thank you to Panhellenic for inviting me to speak to you all tonight. Each of you finds yourselves preparing to close one door and open a new one. And what you may not realize is you are already in the revolving glass door towards recruitment. Because while your foot may not be in the building, you have clearly abandoned the sidewalk. First impressions matter at all phases in life, and unfortunately, one rarely receives a second chance to make a strong impression. One item unites all people who make solid first impressions. They did their homework. After you leave here tonight, make sure to register with your college's Panhellenic organization. It is your official green light to your university of choice that you desire to become a member of Greek life. Study their recruitment guidelines and procedures to receive information regarding the recruitment process, the attire, the number of rounds, and when their recruitment schedule takes place. Some universities will host recruitment in the fall, but my alma mater, Elon University, hosts theirs in the spring. And remember, though each of you may join a unique organization, you will all be members of Panhellenic forever. The women speaking to you tonight are all united in our love for service, volunteerism, philanthropy, friendship, and the desire to make our communities a better place for present and the future. Every house on the row is the best house, and each house on the row is someone's home. So please, throughout this process, do not say or post anything negative about any sorority. Because good news will travel fast, but bad news and its source will travel even faster. Also take an active interest in what else your campus has to offer. Panhellenic women are first and foremost ambassadors of their universities. As a member of Greek life, I was president of my sorority, but I also completed an internship with the district attorney's office, participated in a 4-year leadership fellows program, served on a committee for a 24-hour dance marathon for a children's hospital, and volunteered at a farm which offered equine therapy to clients. Open your eyes to the programs and the people who are outside of the Greek system, for they have much to offer. Having been on both sides of recruitment, one's resume is vital to the process. With some schools registering over 1,000 women, resumes can blur over time. Therefore, please make yours concise, organized, but thoughtful. Consider what sets you apart from other candidates. What makes you unique? At Elon, resumes were especially helpful during recruitment because they provided connections and conversation starters during rounds for members throughout the day. And don't forget to list members of your family who have previously been or are currently members of Greek organizations, as some universities, but not all, will give consideration to legacy information. Now let's talk about your close-up, the photos. Each university will require some form of photo identification for Panhellenic applicants, whether in physical or electronic format. A headshot and a full body shot are normally requested. Please don't apply filters or excessive photoshopping to the pictures. Choose photos that represent the true you. Dress to impress, but be yourself. If possible, avoid hats, sunglasses, being in the picture with friends or family so that Panhellenic organization can tell it's you when you come through the door. If your school requests an electronic version, upload approximately 2 to 3 photographs. And if a physical copy is preferred, please label your name on the back and ensure its format isn't too grainy or pixelated. Ultimately, apply one of my favorite quotes to your photo selection. And this is from Dolly Parton. Figure out who you are and do it on purpose. Social media. Though it has been 14 years since I joined Greek life, I tell you with confidence that your online presence follows you at all phases of your life. Whether it's recruitment, postgraduate programs, the job market, or community involvement, it's out there. And while this next challenge may be difficult, ask yourself, would the version of me 10 years from now be pleased by these pictures? I can assure you, the 28-year-old version of me, after passing the bar and being in the workforce for a few years, thought, you really should have avoided that tanning bed ritual of 4 days a week. But it's out there. From another angle, if you have to take a Sharpie and scratch over what's in your hand or what message or symbol your hand is throwing, should that picture be posted? Should that picture even be taken? Of course, in all things during these upcoming months, celebrate and make memories, but do it thoughtfully. Your future self, the one who will go through recruitment, graduate college, join the job market, pay bills, start her own family, possibly go through a Supreme Court confirmation hearing, well, thank you. Also, check your Panhellenic guidelines on social media. Active members may attempt to follow, friend, or message you, so knowing what is appropriate for your Greek life will serve as an asset during recruitment week. Finally, let's talk about finishing high school. Are there any runners in the audience out there? Anybody that runs, jogs? Okay. Well, as a current marathoner, April 12th on your journey through high school is mile 24 of 26.2. Your legs are tired. Your shoulders ache. You are quite bored at the thought of taking another step. But if you listen, you can hear the cheering in the finishers' corral. You can spot your cheering section on the horizon. You are almost there. Do not give up. You have studied, toiled, invested, and given so fully of yourselves these past 4 years. The hallmark of a Panhellenic woman is her ability to carry the torch to the finish line. She finishes what she starts. Your closing act in high school is a representation of what you will bring to the Panhellenic community as an active and an alum. So finish mightily. Congratulations. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Rainwater, and I'm the current Scholarship Committee Chairman. Our organization offers annual scholarships for current sorority members who are from the Shreveport-Bossier area. This year, we are pleased to offer 2 scholarships in the amount of $500 each that can be used to go towards education expenses. Our application window is open right now through the end of April, so if you have friends or family members who are currently members of the sorority, please direct them to our website where all the information and scholarship application is. Thank you.
Everyone, I'm Andrea Jones, I'm another board member here on the Shreveport-Bossier Alumnae Panhellenic. I want to talk a little bit quickly about our online resources. So, as information changes, a lot has changed in the last 2 years regarding sorority recruitment and National Panhellenic and kind of how everything is managed and everything is handled. So the best way to keep up with that information is going to be on our online resources. So we have a couple of things for you. So we have our website, which is going to be probably the most vast amount of information. That's where we're really going to be posting all of the details of everything. So as you have questions about how to handle your recruitment information, all of that's here. All of this is going to be on the website, so this video and this PowerPoint and everything else, all the handouts that you've received, all of that will be available on our website for you as well. So I highly recommend you take note of that website. Also our Instagram. So I know all of you have your phones here today. If you want to go ahead and open up Instagram and go ahead and follow us, we also put all of our updates on Instagram. So as we hear about recruitment information opening, registration opening in different schools, I always try to post that, as well as other things as you continue your journey, like our scholarship information. You're going to want to be sure that you know about that too, because all of you, being from the Shreveport-Bossier area, will be eligible for the future years of our scholarships, and you're going to want to apply. Facebook, I know that's not as popular with young ladies here, but moms, we do have a Facebook page, and we keep all of that information updated as well. So anything that's going on our Instagram is also going on our Facebook and vice versa. We also have a YouTube page, and it's got the video that we showed today, as well as all the different sections of it broken down. So there's, every time you saw a header, that's a separate video. And so if you really just wanted to watch kind of one section of that, all of that's on our YouTube page. So you can go and kind of go through just the sections that you're really interested in, maybe seeing a little bit more of. Your college's website is going to be a huge resource for you. It's going to have the information on when your recruitment is, when you sign up for classes. I mean, it's not just about sorority recruitment, it's everything that you need to know going forward. So your college's website is going to be really important, and they typically have a group-led page. So something that's going to have all of the sororities that they have at the college that you're going to be going through recruitment for. And as Carolyn said a minute ago, you're going to want to research those sororities and know what the Panhellenic requirements are and what you're going to be experiencing coming up here soon, either in the fall or the spring. As you're looking at the different sororities, because again, I highly recommend you go and look at each of them to know what their values are, to know what's important to them. Some of them will list what their GPA requirements are, what their philanthropies are, and kind of get to know each of them a little bit better. Most of them will have a link there, but all of them have a sorority's national page. And so you can get some good information that's not specific to your college, but nationally, what do these sororities believe in, and what do they value, and what do they place value on. On the same token of that, the sororities will each, from your colleges, should have social media pages. Follow them. They will have lots of great information about upcoming recruitment information, things you need to know, tips for your specific recruitment, just a lot of really good information, and then your college's Panhellenic page as well for social media. All of that is going to be valuable resources for you, so I highly recommend you kind of go and find all the different pages that are going to be applicable to you. And if Linda will come up here, she's going to help me on the next section.
Hello there, I'm Linda Lynn, and I'm the high school liaison, but there is so much information that it's going to seem almost like a classroom, so bear with us and know that if I say something that Andrea has said, or Carolyn has said, or Kelly or anybody else, it means it's important. And it's all right if you yawn, if you hear it more than once. One of the most important things that you can do to have a successful and enjoyable recruitment process is to be prepared. How many of y'all, just raise your hand, if y'all get an assignment in school and you just hop right on it because you're so excited about it? Anybody out there just like that? How about if you're like me and you just kind of wait until class? It's all on y'all now. We used to be able to do so much, but things have changed so rapidly in the last few years, and you have changed so much because the way you learn and what you have to do and the output and where you send this output, whether it's an essay or a test or a question, all of that's changed. And so in many, many ways, you are prepared so much more than I would ever have been. If you might have a dad or a mom or a grandpa who sees you panic sometimes and you're wanting some sympathy and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but poor planning on your part does not create a crisis on mine." So I had that all the time because I was kind of a last minute Linda. You only make one first impression, so make it a good one by being prepared. Explore everything you think you need to know and more about your school's recruitment process. You will be introducing yourself to the campus in a variety of ways. You'll have to register for Panhellenic. You'll have to register for college. You'll have to register for recruitment. Make sure that you know what you are registering for. That may sound simple, but there's a difference in registering for college and registering for recruitment. Pay attention. All the sororities want to make a good experience for you, and you want to enjoy them too. But you have a few responsibilities, and some of those are, you will come across a lot of initials, like you are now a PNM, a potential new member, and you have responsibilities, and that's what we're going over. But you also need to, you're wondering, well, what do they want from me? They're going to be telling you if you do your research. You will see what is expected of you as a potential new member. You will want to find out, well, what's expected of me if I pledge and I want to go active? What difference will it make? You'll need to know, is your recruitment at your school going to be in person only? Carolyn mentioned whether it was in the spring or the fall, whether it's on ongoing, but we have to add those other components. Is it in person? Let's hope it is. But there may be some virtual recruitment going on, or a combination of both. Be prepared for whatever those the sequence of events is. It may be that you need to remember, if it's virtual, make sure that you're still dressed appropriately and that you're in a good place, that your background is good, that you don't have a dog barking, and you don't have the cat wanting to crawl around your shoulders, or you don't have music in the background. Be appropriate so that you're presenting your best self. Make sure that if there's any clothing that is special that you're needed to wear, make sure you're prepared for that. Also, besides knowing what's expected of you in presentation, it also comes to the point of some behavior. Back in the day, we're talking thousands of years ago when I was in college, our rule was that even if your next door neighbor is your best friend and she's an active in sorority and you're there at Rush, now called recruitment, you couldn't say anything to them except at the parties. Well, that may or may not have changed, so here's what you need to do. Make sure what the expectations are from each sorority for you when you visit their group. Make sure that you know what is expected of you and your behavior. And by the way, during all of this, it seems months away from when you'll be actually going to college. It'll fly by like that because you have graduation, you have parties, you have summer, and you still have to do this because it's kind of work, it's your job. But the rewards of joining a sorority are so fabulous. I have met the most wonderful women in Panhellenic. I'm an old gal, and these young women just brighten my day with the things that they teach us, the jobs they're in, the camaraderie that we have. You too can experience that if you are prepared. And oh, by the way, if mom or dad have questions about sorority, Greek life, there is so much more than just parties. So if you familiarize yourself with the sororities on the campus to which you will be traveling, you can tell them all of the philanthropies, all of the good things that they do. And these become who you are. Some sororities support the Children's Miracle Network. How fabulous is that? One sorority supports the deaf and hard of hearing. Another will support burn victims, all kinds of wonderful things that touch your heartstrings. And you may already have an idea because many of you have been involved in activities in school that are service oriented. And it's a wonderful thing because this develops a richness to your life, and it also helps develop a real sisterhood with your friends because you all have the same things that you like. There's a quality there that just can't be beat. There are a couple of things that I want to also remind you that, and I keep coming back to it, I don't say it, keep mom and dad in the loop. Moms freak out about recruitment. They want to make sure that everything is done. They'll call us on Panhellenic and say, how many of those pictures do we have to have? Is there a certain site? And it's all written down. But everybody panics at some point. So keep them in the loop. Share with them what you have to do. They might accidentally have some good ideas about, that picture. I know a principal in town who was a member of my sorority, which shall remain nameless, but I know that she would call in high school senior girls at her school and say, this picture is totally unacceptable. Get another one or I'll call mom. It was scary to me. So make sure that you make good decisions and let mom and dad help you out with a little variation there, and they're not totally old fogies, okay? Another thing that's really important is to keep current. Things have changed so much in the last couple of years that we don't know what's going to happen from yesterday till tomorrow when it comes to COVID. We don't, there may be some other major issue that pops up. So sororities and National Panhellenic are keeping on top of these, and therefore the schools, the colleges are keeping on top of that too. And they may have to make some changes. Watch the website, check it regularly to make sure that the clothes that they said to bring are still the clothes to bring, because they may have changed what they need. Feel free to jump in.
You're doing great. Actually, want to kind of break it or slow it down just a second on our next topic, because it's about the recommendation letters, and that's kind of a hot topic, especially for the parents who have been involved in years past. And so we said a couple of times things have changed, and we really need to stress here how things have changed. So a recommendation letter, as y'all may or may not know from years past especially, is where alumni from sororities will send in a letter on a potential new member's behalf, on your behalf, to the sororities that you're considering going through, and it kind of introduces you. And it says, either I recommend this woman, or I don't know her personally, but here's her information, she's coming through recruitment, right? In years past, we've always collected these packets with your photos and resumes, and we cannot do that anymore. So that's the biggest red flag for this year. It is something that we wish we could continue to do for you, but nationally, sororities have changed. Nationally, Panhellenic has changed. So a recommendation letter for a lot of sororities is either not required, not wanted, or must be from somebody that you know personally. So I know a couple of young ladies out here, and I can write you a letter personally. But for the rest of you, because I don't know you personally, I would not be able to submit a letter of recommendation to my sorority if they even wanted one. Okay, so that's really important. So this year we are not collecting those big packets. Instead, we are asking that you register on our website with us, because what we are still doing for y'all as trying to help you be ready for recruitment is that we'll send it out to the people that we know in sororities, and we'll say, hey, here's some women that we know that are going through recruitment. Take a look and see if you know any of them, and maybe reach out and see if they still need a recommendation letter, okay? So I really wanted to kind of break that down, really slow that down for you, because either sororities are not accepting them, some schools are not accepting them, some Panhellenics are not accepting them, or they're only accepting them from people that you know. So you need to ask personal connections. So Elizabeth asked at the very beginning for all the sorority women to stand up, anyone who's in Panhellenic. There's so many, and I think there's probably more than you even realize. Ask your cheer coaches, your soccer coaches, your teachers, your Sunday school teachers. You're gonna be surprised at how many women are Panhellenic women in your life. That maybe they just haven't said anything about it because they didn't know you were interested. So ask around, but definitely research the school that you're going to, and if they want recommendation letters, and then if they do, put together that packet of the social resume and the photos if they need it, and any other information that that person might need, and then they can submit that recommendation letter for you if you need one. Okay, so again, it's very different than what we've done in the past, and we would love to continue to support you in that way, but nationally things have changed and we are not able to do that anymore. So be sure, ask your personal connections and let them know when it's due. That's a really big one because everyone gets busy. So if you don't let them know that it's due at the end of May, then it may not be done.
And you might want to follow up on that. Yes. Because some of us, oh yeah, we'll get to that. Or they need to and things interfere. So make sure you give them an appropriate amount of time and let them know what kind of format. Is it going to be online? Do we need to send the pictures and all of your social resume to them? They need to know those things.
Yes, and so on the next slide, it just kind of outlines that recommendation letter packet. And again, This is just a guideline, a recommendation to y'all, and it's not required because, again, this is going to be what your personal connections are looking for from you. So they may all ask for something a little bit different based on what their sorority needs to be able to submit, but this is usually a good outline of the kind of information that they're going to be asking for. So this information, this packet, if you do end up creating one, if your recommendation letter writers need one, it will go directly to them. So it does not come to us like it has in years past, it will go directly to them. We also highly recommend, big check, please write thank you notes, okay? These women are taking time out of their day to do this, and it's great courtesy, it's a good Southern courtesy, it's a good habit to get into. And sometimes, if you go ahead and, if you ask, if I asked Ms. Linda to write me a recommendation letter,
It would be wonderful.
and then I sent her a thank you note, if she hadn't gotten around to writing it yet, that's a nice reminder for her to go ahead and do it. We all get busy, okay?
But good manners never go out of style.
Yes.
And a thank you note goes a long way with adults who are doing something they don't have to do.
Yes.
So write them an email or a handwritten note, which is fabulous, but not necessary. But email is good. But acknowledge in some way in a nice, timely fashion.
Yes. So the next couple of slides are just kind of a reminder for you to research. We've said it 100 times, we're going to keep saying it. Research the Greek life on your campus, okay? We are able to provide you some really generic information, but across here, there's probably at least 30 or 40 different colleges that y'all are going to. And so we're not able to cover every college on campus and figure out exactly what they're doing and what they need. So it's really up to y'all to make sure that you research what's going on at your college and your Panhellenic. Not just the sorority, but also look at the campus, right? If you're planning to get involved, whether you're doing a sport or you want to do a different organization, not just a Panhellenic, but maybe something else. A lot of people get into like an SGA or BCM, a Christian organization. There's lots of different things, and there's big events, and there's philanthropic things that you can do through your college as well. So be sure you know what's going on and be prepared. And those are things you can also talk about and ask during recruitment. Hey, did y'all ever participate in X, Y, and Z? And kind of get a feel for what they do. It's pretty helpful. That's an action item for you. All right, your action items. We have a whole checklist that we have given you. It is the same as this slide. You can go ahead and check us off on social media if you did it when I highly recommended you did it earlier. But these are your action items, okay? We're just gonna kind of fly through them pretty quick. You gotta finish high school strong. Ladies, you can't stop now, okay? The GPA matters. Panhellenic women, we are driven to be successful women. That was really the reason that I joined Panhellenic, is because I wanted to surround myself with successful women. That means y'all are the future of Panhellenic if you decide to go through recruitment, okay? So finish high school strong, start your success, and start your college off right, okay? Register for recruitment with your college. Fill out our form online to register with us. Those are two separate things, okay? Registering with us does not register you for Panhellenic at your college. Follow us on social media if you haven't already. Check. Clean up your social media accounts. All of them. Ladies, you know some of y'all have more than one account. Or an account for your cat, I don't know. Clean them up. If you have it, they can find it, okay? Review recruitment guidelines at your college, all the sororities on your college campus life, and if needed, create that packet for the women who are writing the recommendation letters. Last but not least, yes.
We've given you a lot of information, sometimes, several times, several ways, but take a deep breath. It's all on you, but you can do it. You are graduating seniors. You have conquered all kinds of things like senior papers and, late night study sessions. You can do it. And so do it with preparation, do it with joy in your heart, and try to enjoy it. Take a deep breath and do it. There are a couple of things that I would like to kind of leave you with, last minute FYIs, which I might let you just try that up. But, you know, what we're really saying about all this is that everything that you need for success, you've really already learned. You probably learned it in Sunday school or kindergarten. It's to be aware, it's to be aware of who you are and what you want people to think about you. And I have a favorite little book that I love to share just a portion of, and it's called Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. I'm going to share just about 5 concepts with you because they exist still today and they're really good for sorority. Share everything. Play fair. And play fair with yourself when you're making all of your papers and your introduction to sorority and all of that. Make sure that you present your authentic self. Play fair. Clean up your own mess. Live a balanced life, and every day try to live some and learn some and paint and walk and exercise and dance and be happy every day. And when you go out into the world, it's always a wonderful thing before you cross the street to take the hand beside you of a good friend, like a sorority sister. Look both ways so that you're protecting each other and then cross. It's a wonderful thing. We're so happy you're here. Our last minute FYIs are just repetition, but they're still so important. Share, be fair when you go out in the world. Hold hands before you cross the street. Look both ways.
So the last minute FYIs is just more housekeeping stuff, and then I'm going to let Tracy come around with stuff. But our organization, because we are the Shreveport-Bossier alumni, we can only support the women from the Shreveport-Bossier area. So back when we would write recommendation letters, it was a lot more important because we couldn't write them for women from Ruston and West Monroe. But if you are from another area, please contact the alumni, the Panhellenic alumni in your area, because they'll have resources for you as well. And then we can't write the blanket letters, which I've tried to get on really hard. I hope y'all are with me. If you're not, please let us know. And then lean into all of your resources. So that's the online resources and then each other, right? Lean into your friends and your parents and everybody else. But for that, I'm going to let Tracy Presswood come up and wrap us up.
That's what we always say, share. Share your network with each other.
Yes.
First of all, thank you again for also sharing your time with us today. I'm Tracy Presswood, I'm the Vice President, and I hope that we have at least cleared the muddy water just a little bit. I know there's a lot of new things, and I know that there's been a lot of information tonight. The first thing that I do want you to know is I was told I have 3 daughters that have all gone through this recruitment process, and they've all had their own experience. The Mommy Network is way bigger than Big Brother ever could be. Each of you mothers know several people that are within the Panhellenic. And that's why we need to know personally what goes on in what each sorority is recommending. For example, there's no reason for my sorority to not send me a picture because there's no place to put it. I don't want you to be spending the money on that picture because they get their pictures online and from Instagram. The girls do it themselves. So that's why it's all changing. And for lack of a better word, I know that we're all tired of hearing that this is the normal recruitment. Know that not a single person in the house that you are going to walk in on for recruitment has had a normal recruitment. Think about that. It has been different every single year for those members of that sorority. It has changed sometime in the middle of it. I know a school that started for 5 days and it ended up going for 2 weeks because of a hurricane and whatever else. So know that when you walk in, they're just as nervous as you are. Be a support system for each other and know that it may be via Zoom, Mass, whatever it may be. It's all, but embrace it. Embrace it and know that it is yours and you will make it to be whatever you want it to be. And last but not least, please know that you have got a great support team. You've got family, you have friends, and you have all of us Panhellenic alumni members that want to cheer you on, want to encourage you, want to love you and support you every step of the way. All right, any questions? I know it's all to sink in, but if y'all would like to email us, we're all on the website and all that. So if not, we're adjourned. Thank y'all.